Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. There comes a moment in every man's journey when silence speaks louder than words, when your absence becomes the loudest echo in her soul. This video isn't about revenge, it's not about bitterness, it's about power, the kind of power that comes when you reclaim yourself. In a world where instant gratification rules and people throw away good love for temporary thrills, we're diving into the moment she realizes what she lost. That moment when she sees you becoming the man she only dreamed of standing beside. But now she can only watch from a distance. We'll explore ancient love stories, the psychology behind regret, the emotional intelligence that keeps a man grounded, and the exact shift that happens when a woman truly feels she let go of someone irreplaceable. This isn't just about relationships, it's about becoming unforgettable. So if you're ready to learn the truth behind what makes a woman regret losing you and how to turn that pain into personal power, stay locked in. Like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe and drop your thoughts in the comments. We're building stronger men, one truth at a time. Chapter 1. The echo of absence, when she feels the void you left. There's a moment, often quiet, always sudden, when a woman sits with herself and realizes the man she once had is no longer hers. Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, completely gone. That moment creeps in after the noise of distraction dies down. When the new attention fades, when the excitement of freedom begins to feel like emptiness. She scrolls through old photos, replays conversations in her mind, and stares at your last message, wondering why she didn't respond differently, why she thought you'd always be there. But here's the truth. Your withdrawal wasn't to punish, it was to protect your value. And now, that silence has become your loudest message. Throughout history, powerful men have mastered the art of letting go with grace, and that grace has left permanent imprints on the hearts of the women who lost them. Consider Marcus Aurelius, not only a Stoic emperor, but a man of discipline in love. When his beloved wife Faustina passed, he grieved in silence, honored her memory, but never became a slave to his sorrow. He ruled an empire while mourning, never collapsing under emotion. That type of self-mastery is what makes a man unforgettable. The lesson? True masculinity isn't loud, it's grounded. It doesn't chase, it stands. When a woman distances herself or pushes you away thinking she has time to test your loyalty, what she doesn't realize is that the moment a man of substance chooses himself, he doesn't come back the same, if he comes back at all. And when you shift your focus inward, your health, your mission, your purpose, that's when the echo of your absence starts to hit her the hardest. She starts to feel unsafe emotionally, not because you were her security, but because she now realizes she fumbled the one man who provided it through presence and steadiness. The irony? It's never the big moments that break her, it's the quiet ones. The nights when she expects your call and it never comes. The social media story where you look at peace without her. The realization that you didn't beg, you evolved. Emotional intelligence tells us you can't force someone to see your worth. Only your absence can show them the cost of taking it for granted. When she starts to feel that void, that's when the regrets flood in. She remembers how you listened to her fears without judgment, how you showed up with presence, not performance, how you loved her with strength, not weakness. And now all she can do is wonder, why did I let him go? But here's the twist. She didn't lose you because you stopped loving her. She lost you because you finally started loving yourself more. This moment, the one she now sits in, isn't your burden, it's her awakening. And for the man watching this right now, hear this clearly. You're not meant to be someone's option while being their foundation. The minute you stopped proving yourself was the moment she realized she lost something rare. You didn't get colder, you got wiser. Drop a comment below. I attract, not chase. Let's hear from the men choosing power over pursuit. Chapter 2. When growth becomes the revenge. She never expected, you see. Most women don't expect you to grow without them. They expect you to wait, to linger, to check in when they post something, to ask mutual friends how they're doing. They assume your silence is temporary and your presence is on pause. But the moment you truly embrace the pain, not by numbing it, but by transforming it, that's the moment she starts to feel the shift. Because when a man begins to glow up emotionally, spiritually, and physically, it hits differently. She thought you'd be somewhere broken, but you're not. You're in the gym, sharpening the edges of your body. You're at work, building something bigger than you're feeling. You're at peace, surrounded by fewer people, but more purpose. And when she watches from a distance, what she sees is a man who didn't collapse under the weight of heartbreak, but one who used it as fuel to level up. Throughout history, powerful men have used personal loss to ignite greatness. Take Napoleon Bonaparte, for example. His first love, Josephine, nearly broke him when she betrayed his trust. But instead of spiraling, he turned his heartbreak into legacy. He conquered empires, rewrote history, and became unforgettable. Not because he sought revenge, but because he stayed on purpose. That's what real men do. They don't retaliate. They rise. Here's what most women miss in that initial breakup power trip. Your silence is not weakness, it's strategy. While she seeks validation through temporary attention, you're crafting a life that doesn't include the chaos, and suddenly, the balance shifts. She sees you smiling in photos, but it's not for her. She hears you're doing well, but you haven't checked in. She feels something missing, but you've already filled it with purpose. This is the moment where she starts questioning everything. The attention she once craved feels empty. The freedom she chased becomes lonely. And the man she let go of, he's now the man she silently compares everyone else to. She wishes she could go back and hold your hand a little longer, speak softer, argue less, appreciate the small things. But it's too late, because now she's watching the man she once had become the man every other woman now desires. And for you, that realization is everything. Not because you want to hurt her, but because it confirms this truth. A man doesn't need to seek closure when he finds himself. That moment, the moment she regrets losing you, will never be loud. You won't get a dramatic apology or a tear-filled call. Most of the time, she won't even say it out loud, but you'll know, because her energy will shift. She might like a post, text, "Hey, just checking on you," ask mutual friends about you, maybe even show up unexpectedly. But by then, you'll be standing too tall to shrink back into the man you were. Emotional intelligence teaches us that not all doors should be reopened, especially when walking through them cost you your peace. Let her sit with the choice she made, because the longer she watches you grow, the louder her regret will become. You were never trying to make her jealous. You were just too focused on your evolution to play emotional games. That's the most powerful position a man can be in. Drop a comment below. I am becoming everything she thought I wouldn't. Let's see who's done being average. Chapter 3. The silent regret. When your absence teaches her what love really was. Regret doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It sneaks in slowly, on quiet nights, in soft memories, through unexpected reminders. She might be out with someone new, smiling across the table. But then he says something careless. He doesn't notice the sadness in her eyes. He scrolls on his phone when she's speaking. And in that moment, you appear. Not physically, but emotionally. You held space for her thoughts. You listened like what she said mattered. You remembered the things she didn't even know she told you. And now, what she once called too serious, she sees as maturity. What she once labeled too intense, she now misses as depth. This is the moment when your absence becomes her mirror, showing her not only what she lost, but how little the world is offering in comparison. Psychologists have long observed that we rarely regret the things that felt wrong in the moment. We regret the things that were right, but we weren't ready for. You were that right thing, And her regret doesn't stem from your flaws, it stems from your growth, your presence, your emotional depth. She thought love was a feeling, but now she knows love is also safety, consistency, respect, and presence, and that's what you gave her. This is the kind of emotional realization that doesn't leave easily. It haunts her quietly, especially when she meets men who talk without listening, men who touch her body but never reach her soul, men who want her attention but can't hold her heart. And suddenly she understands, you were not just another man, you were a rare experience. Let's look at a powerful story from history, King Edward VIII, who gave up the British throne for the woman he loved, Wallis Simpson. His decision shook the world. Some called it foolish, others saw it as romantic. But the woman at the center of that story once admitted later in life, I never believed he would do it for me. And part of me never forgave myself for making him choose. She loved him, but even she couldn't fully carry the weight of what she inspired in him. That's what real love does. It challenges a person's identity. And when they walk away from it, a part of them always remains tied to what they lost. You might think she's forgotten you, but regret isn't always loud or visible. Sometimes it's in her late-night playlist, in her silence when someone mentions your name, in her social media likes that appear out of nowhere, in the way she tries to replace you, only to find watered-down versions that don't touch her spirit the same way. You were calm in the chaos, solid in her storm, and now that you're gone, nothing feels quite as stable. But here's where your emotional intelligence must step in. Her realization is not your responsibility. Her regret is not your invitation to return. You are not a rescue mission. You are a rising force. This is the point where most men stumble. They think her coming back means something permanent, but often it's just nostalgia, not true transformation. Remember, the man you've become was forged in fire. Don't trade your peace for a past that couldn't see your value. She wishes she never let you go, and she will for a long time. But that wish is no longer your problem to solve. Let her wish. You've got a life to build. Drop a comment below. She lost me when I found myself. Let's hear from the men who chose self-respect over second chances. Chapter 4. Becoming the man she'll never forget, even if she never says it. By the time she realizes what she lost, you've already become someone new. Not bitter, not broken, but forged in silence, sharpened by pain, and awakened by truth. Because what started as heartbreak became your breakthrough. You learned that a man's worth is not in how much he gives when he's being drained, but how much he chooses to preserve when he's being overlooked. You learned that love isn't proved by sacrifice alone, but by standards, and that's what you've now established, a new standard for how you love, lead, and live. This isn't just about her anymore, it's about you stepping into your masculine power, not the kind that dominates, but the kind that directs, not the kind that shouts, but the kind that leads in quiet strength. Let's look at Emperor Shah Jahan, the man behind one of history's greatest monuments of love, the Taj Mahal. After losing his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal, he built her a resting place that still stuns the world. But here's what many forget. He didn't destroy himself in grief. He built something eternal out of it. And in doing so, he became legendary, not just for love, but for legacy. That's the same energy you now walk in, because while she was busy forgetting your worth, you were busy remembering it. While she entertained distractions, you were developing discipline. And while she thought you'd wait, you walked. Now, when she looks at you, if she gets the chance, she'll see a man who cannot be manipulated, who no longer needs her validation, who smiles not because he's trying to attract her, but because he's finally at peace with himself. That's the moment she wishes she never let you go. Not because you became flashy, but because you became free. You stopped being available to confusion. You stopped trying to decode mixed signals. You stopped placing your value in someone else's recognition of it. And that's when everything changed. Now you're the man who holds eye contact without flinching, who speaks with calm certainty, who walks into a room and doesn't seek attention, but commands respect. The truth is, women don't regret losing a man who begged for their love. They regret losing the one who became everything he said he would without them. You're that man now, not because of her absence, but because of your presence in your life, in your growth, in your future. So if she comes back, know this. You are no longer waiting at the door she closed. You've built a palace of peace in her silence. And even if she never says the words, she will never forget you. She'll remember the man who saw her deeply, who chose her genuinely, and who walked away with quiet power when he was no longer valued. And that memory? It will last longer than any relationship she enters after you. Because you didn't just love her, you loved her with honor. And that kind of love always leaves a mark. So don't chase her. Don't wait for closure. You've already won. You became the man she'll regret losing for the rest of her life. Drop a comment below. I am the man she'll never forget. Let's hear from the kings who turned pain into power. If this spoke to you, like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe. The world needs more men like you, grounded, wise, and unshakable. Your journey is just beginning. Let's walk it together.